ahead and get started. And like I said, you may see me looking down and things like that because I have a couple of notes here on the characters, and I got a couple of questions I wanted to ask. And again, based off of what you give me feedback from is where the questions would derive from and things like that.
Okay.
Okay. So one question that I'm actually going to ask everybody is, what comes to your mind initially when you hear the word someday?
Get rich.
Uh-huh. That's many people go right there.
I think look something to look forward to.
Okay. Awesome. When I thought of the title someday, I sort of thought about those things that like Anthony said, everybody has like a dream. And they said someday when this happens, then I'll know this has been fulfilled. And so that was sort of the stance that I came from, of having the concept of someday, that someday this is going to happen. Someday this will pan out. Someday this will all be as it should be. We have an ideal or a concept in our mind of what we think things should look like. And sometimes life don't necessarily give that to us. And so our characters sort of find that out along the way as well, that some things that happen in their lives sort of put them in different lights, and they have to figure out how they're going to respond so that they can continue to function and flow in those areas. Okay. Now, the main character that is actually already married in the book is Trudy. Now, Trudy got married sort of earlier than her friend Constance. And so she had a basic understanding and relationship already as it relates to marriage and how to connect with other individuals. Now, for you, did you guys sort of, when you guys got married, would you, of the siblings and things like that on either side, were you guys sort of the first ones to get married or sort of towards the latter ones to get married?
I was the first one.
Okay. Now, being the first one brings a lot of pressure.
Well,
to some degree. Would you say that?
Yeah, to some degree it does, because you try to, you're stepping out there and everybody else is like, are you sure? Is this the one? They ask a lot of questions. So you're trying to appease them and you're trying to get ready at the same time.
Yeah. Because some people actually have a model that they could sort of look to and say like, oh, this is how I want to pay my marriage out or something like that. Did you guys have someone in your life like that? Or did you sort of come in with your own preconceived notions of like, this is what marriage is, oh, this is what marriage is, and then you brought them both together?
I think we both just went in it not knowing a whole lot. Okay. Not knowing how it was going to pan out. We just knew that we wanted to be together. So we decided we're going to get married. And once we got married, it was more or less like, okay, we're going to make it work. Because he always said it's forever. It's not something we're going to do and then undo. So we just went in it knowing we're in for the long haul.
So, and Anthony, I want to hear from you too. How did you know that this was the relationship that you wanted when you met Alma? Because I'm sure you met other people that you could have felt were attractive or had different things going on. But what was it about Alma? And same thing for you, Alma. What was it about Anthony that made you say this relationship is different?
Her girlfriend forced her to date me.
Forced her? What in the world?
Well, because I was in a relationship prior to that, of course. And at that point, I was so devastated. I said, I'm never going to get married. I'm not going to be in no kind of relationships, no time soon. So it was like 2 years and we went to a club. And when we got to the club, he basically said, you're going to be my wife. And I'm like, this man is drunk. He's crazy. Something is wrong with him. And he kept asking me for my number. And I said, no, I just came here to be depressed. I don't want to talk. I don't want to do anything. I just want to be okay.
Wait a minute.
Yeah,
you go to the club to be depressed.
Yeah.
Come on now.
That was my thing right there. I just want to be depressed. Just leave me alone. I just came here. He said, well, can I buy you a drink? I was like, no, I don't want to drink. And then my girlfriend said, just let him buy you a drink. So then I said, yes. He brought the drink to the table. We drank. And then he came and he said, do you want to dance? No, I don't want to dance. I came here to be depressed. Oh, and he just kept going on. He said, you're going to be my wife. And I was like, yeah, he's really drunk. Like something is really wrong with him. And we just kept talking about it. And then that night, for some reason, he asked my girlfriend, he told her, I lost her number and could you give it to me? So we went home and then he called me like 4 a.m. He was like, how you doing? I was like, who is this? And so
that was smart, Anthony. He was like, oh, you ain't gonna get somebody. I know how to get it.
Yeah. And so then after that, we just, he would call all the time and we would talk and talk. And then I found myself saying, he's a nice guy, he's a decent guy. And we'd have good conversations, and we would just, for weeks and weeks and weeks, we just talked on the phone and talked on the phone and got to know each other. And then he says, well, let's go out. And that's how it kind of took off from there. So just to go into it, kind of just understanding that I was not interested at the time, but he was interested at the time. And so he knew basically what he wanted, and he kept coming at